So before we get started, I would like all of you to take a quick few minutes just to sit comfortably and take a few nice, so slow breaths and have an intention that just for next few minutes or next 30 minutes or so, keeping an intention that we will just be here in this room or in this meeting room and without letting our mind wander away and thoughts wander away, just be with ourselves, just be here in this room and in this place. With that, let's go ahead and get started. What is mindfulness? Before we talk about mindfulness, I want to share my thoughts about what mindfulness is not. I will explain this using our monkey mind. For example, we just sit to meditate, and then we get different thoughts, thinking about the email I was about to send, or maybe our grocery list, or a conversation from the last week. Or, for example, I'm sitting here, just sitting to work on my work in my work on my work day, and suddenly I see a FedEx driver driving by, and then my mind again suddenly reminds me like what all tasks I need to do. Maybe sending a gift to someone, I need to shop yet, and then it reminds me, oh, maybe that is not available yet, making me worry whether I'll be able to do it or not, and then making me disappointed about myself that I didn't do something what I'm supposed to do. So in just a few minutes, our mind takes us from where to where. It just jumps from one branch to another, creating that particular thought, creating some negative emotion in ourselves, maybe anger, maybe disappointment, maybe some negative emotion, and that will make us to take some action which we are not intended to take. So this thought, emotion, and action, they just happen without our control. That is what is not being mindful about our thoughts or not being mindful in that moment. So in order to, that is not being mindful or mindless of our thoughts, emotions, and actions. But in contrast, if we are being mindful, then whenever we are sitting on that particular meditation or anything, we're just thinking that, okay, yeah, that thought came, but let me bring back my attention to where I am right now, what I am doing right now. For example, when I'm working, when I see that FedEx truck or something, instead of just getting carried away with those thoughts, just bringing back my mind to my work, saying that, okay, I will take care of that later, maybe, but let me focus on what I'm doing right now. So that is what is being mindful of, like paying attention to the present moment without any judgment whatsoever. So, friends, let me share with you all few more my reflections or my experience on how I bring this mindfulness into my day-to-day life, and also which leading to self-awareness. So the first thing what I talked about in that example is always starts with that thought, with that thought. If we are not being mindful, then it just takes us into all kind of directions. So that leads me to talk about the self-awareness, the first quotient in emotional intelligence. So in emotional intelligence, we talk about four things. One is just self-awareness, and then really self-awareness and awareness of others with whom we are interacting, and then the empathy, having an empathy, and also relationships with others as well. So in this session, I'm going to talk about just the first topic, that is about self-awareness. So let me ask you just a couple of questions. So first thing is, how are you? Just take a quick minute and think about what you are feeling right now, how you are feeling, like energetic and also upbeat, maybe little calm, like early in the morning, serene and content, joy, happiness, all little kind of those emotions early morning. Because but as the day progresses, how our feelings typically change with the interactions, or maybe with the things what we are going through in our daily life. Maybe if we take us on a typical work day, so once after in the morning, maybe we do our morning chores, and then we just get on to the work, like maybe drive to work, and then we just go to work, and again doing with those all meetings and emails and interactions with others, maybe down in the afternoon, again asking that same question to ourselves: how am I feeling? But that time, it might not be the same way how we felt in the early morning, right? It depends on the interactions we had, or how our work is being moved on, and things like that. And sometimes we might be dull, we might be disappointed, we might not be the way we are in the morning. And again, just carrying on in that same day, maybe in the evening, again in the night. If we keep asking ourselves that question, we will find ourselves in different kind of emotions or different kind of experiences, isn't it? And also, not only the feelings, not only the thoughts, even our energy levels. Maybe in the morning we are just pumped, we are getting ready for the day, and we are energetic. But again, as the day progresses, maybe we might not be in the same energy zone how we are in the morning, or maybe in the evening after the day finishes, or in the night before going to bed. But what we are not, sometimes, if we don't pay attention to, what happens is, and also, if we, what kind of decisions we are taking in those sets of minds. Like, for example, if our energy and if our thoughts are in a good frame, good time of frame, then the decision we make might be a good decision, correct decision. But if we are not being mindful, if we are not being careful about our energy zones and the mind or shifts, whatever we are, and if we tend to take a important decision, do we think we will be able to take a correct decision in that frame, in that right set of, in that frame of mindset? Might not be. But sometimes we are not being careful about that. Now, this is all about ourselves. Now, think about, we are having a discussion with somebody in the during the afternoon, or maybe during the evening, whatever day of the day. But what about others? Are they in that right frame set, right set of mind? Like when we are dealing with them, when we are talking with them, how are they feeling? How are their emotions? Sometimes, if we are not being mindful, do we think we will have fruitful discussion between both these individuals if they are not in that right set of zones? Both of them might not be, right? Again, there are also some conflicts can happen if we are not being mindful about that. So what I'm trying to tell is here, having that awareness, how am I, feeling, or how are my energy levels? That is very important to our entire being, not only just for the day, or even for whatever interactions we are having with other people. So some tools what we can use for this particular having that self-awareness is checking in instead of checking out. Sometimes we tend to check out our phones or what is happening around the world or things like that many times. But instead of that, time to time, checking within ourselves that how am I feeling? What are the thoughts going on in my mind? And using my five senses, maybe what am I seeing right now? Am I getting agitated with what I'm seeing here? Or what am I thinking? Where are my thoughts going? Are they making me nervous or are they making me happy? Are they bringing me positive emotion or a negative emotion? Constantly. And what am I hearing right now? Like, is it giving me a pleasantness, a calmness, or is it giving me a stress or a disturbance or disappointment, whatever it is? So, one of the easiest thing is that checking in instead of checking out with our five senses, and also maybe bringing our awareness to one thing what we can focus on. That's a very I think, a very common habit we all have, or a practice we all easily do, that bringing our attention to our breath, or bringing our attention to something what we can focus on instead of letting our mind wander away. That is maybe one of the things I typically practice as well. And no, this the beauty of it is no one needs to know that we are practicing meditation or we are bringing our awareness to our breath or something. I'm seeing, I'm talking to people, I'm sitting right in the middle of any meeting or anything, but still, if I'm checking in constantly with myself, is this conversation what I'm having right now is bringing me stress, concern, or anything, or is it giving me a positive emotion? But if I feel like this is not going what I'm trying to expect, or if I'm feeling more agitated, more nervous, then immediately checking in with myself or bringing my awareness to my breath and calming myself down, that will help me to perform better in wherever I am. That is one of the things. And then when I share some meditation practices with my teams or with people, sometimes we hear that we do not have that much time to do in our daily activities, bringing setting aside some time to do these kind of meditation practices. So to them, what I tell is, instead of setting aside time for these meditation practices or mindfulness practices, how about bringing that mindfulness into our day-to-day life itself? Like to our regular chores, like morning we get up and we brush our teeth. So while brushing our teeth, sometimes it happens like by the time half of my brushing is done, my mind might have went through my entire day and came back to me. Like I might have planned the entire day. That is early in the morning, just in the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes of us, it is making us so nervous, right? And no doubt, you are stressed out right in the morning itself. So then I started rewinding back. I started focusing or bringing my mind to what I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm brushing my teeth. Okay, right side, left side, up, down, whatever it is. Trying to bring that mindfulness into that moment. Similar thing to everything else as well. Taking shower or washing dishes or preparing some food or maybe sipping my cup of tea or cup of tea, whatever. So, bringing that mindfulness into that moment instead of setting aside some time just to do that meditation practice is what I try to cultivate from the years of practice mainly. And also, friends, I want to share, instead of sitting aside and doing that mindfulness practice or meditation practice, the other way of bringing that mindfulness into our day is much more better way of cultivating that habit, isn't it? Like, for example, we all do those chores every single day, but instead of letting our mind wander away with the thoughts or giving us that stress, if we can just be mindful in those just that moments where we are doing our regular chores, that will help us to cultivate that habit much more easily, is what I is what is my personal experience as well. So now coming to how it helped me, like what I know we did some practices, or I might have found some solutions or ways, like how I can bring it into my day-to-day life. The first foremost thing, or the biggest thing, or the most impactful thing I can say is on a negative emotion, anger. That is the biggest enemy I feel for humankind. Like it just comes up in no time, in whatever way, and then we react instead of responding, isn't it? So years back, I would say maybe 10 years back or 15 years back, at the drop of a hat, anything I can, I mean, with anything and anyone, I can become angry, or that negative emotion comes into me. Like just some simple thing, whatever didn't go as per what I want, then immediately that negative emotion used to come. And then maybe I used to say things or do things that I am not proud of, or I am not happy about. But slowly, I used to understand what is happening. Like why am I doing something which I'm not proud of, which I'm not um, feel grateful about, meaning after that. So first understanding, creating that awareness in myself that what is causing this, that is making me behave in this manner. Again, it goes back to that same circle, right? Thought, some thoughts might have came into my mind which made me feel I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough, whatever it is, making me think that I am not enough simply. And that thought might have triggered some negative emotion in myself, thinking about, yes, how I always fail, or I always don't do things as I expected to do, or I always not do things about of my caliber. Whatever it is, it evoked some emotion in me, and that emotion triggered some action, whether I said something or I did something which is not I'm proud of, basically. So I understood that cycle. Then now where do we stop? We don't stop at the act. I mean, we are all focusing on the action part, why I did that or why I said that. But before that, we have these two couple of things that triggering like emotion, and the root is all always about thought. And that thought is what? The beauty of it, or the wonderful thing of it, is that thought is in our hands, right? No, but in no one's control. It is in our control, that it is in our mind. So if I can control, or if I can control that thought, then all this negative, the next things will not happen. But how do I control that mind? It is all about being self-aware, being self-aware that I am doing this, or what thought is coming in my mind. So there were days, years back, maybe after 100 thoughts, I would have thought like, oh my God, I'm thinking something negative, or I'm thinking whatever it is, it is giving me that stress, disappointment, whatever. 100 thoughts. After that, maybe I might have come down to 50 thoughts. Maybe in that 50 thoughts itself, I used to catch myself. Oh my God. Oh, my mind wandered away. So let me come back. Let me come back. Slowly and compassionately, we need to bring back that mind. So from that, not even 100, maybe I will start with a very big number. I was not even, what do you call it? Like I was not even mindful about it, that it is getting carried away like that. But then maybe 100 thoughts I came, then came down to 50, and came down to maybe 10, maybe 5. But now I am at that first 2 3 thoughts itself. I am able to catch myself. Hey, you are thinking something negative. So when you can catch yourself, then you can control your emotion, and then you can control your action as well. And so, for that, simple tools, friends, checking in instead of checking out, and also bringing our awareness or bringing our focus onto something which we all do in our meditation, maybe on our breath. There is a simple, powerful tool which is available in our own body itself. We don't need to go somewhere to bring that focus on something. Just being mindful. See, these things are very simple, but only thing is, what is not simple is thinking or remembering to do that, is what I think we all need to cultivate. And after checking in, checking out, one of the simple thing what I would like to share, or what I typically do, is body scan meditation. Especially when we are on bed, when we are going to sleep, sometimes our mind gets agitated and we are not falling into sleep. And that is the best time for the body scan. Like I just start from my maybe toes and my knees, and then like that, just coming up of the body, and thinking my right side and then left side. And before, I mean, it was hardly any day I did for my whole body, sometimes in that night time, because before you know, you're asleep. So that is what is it is I mean, some practices, I mean, morning times when we are rigorously doing it, yes, we do it. But sometimes, to calm our mind, some of these practices will help us to bring us into our calm selves. Those are my few things for maybe self-awareness, but also coming to keeping ourselves positive. Now we calmed ourselves. Now what else? How do we energize ourselves? Maybe with some positive activities, that identifying what gives me positive or happiness, identifying those activities. Maybe we all love to read, or love to go on a walk, or love to listen to music. whatever it is, or making our one of our favorite dishes, or spending time with our family and friends, having that heartful talk with someone, whatever it is, finding what we enjoy doing and bringing those, doing those activities deliberately in our day-to-day life, so that it will make us bring us those positive moments into our day-to-day life. Also, I want to share, finding our signature strength. Maybe we all have some strengths that we can enjoy, or we can share with others as well. Again, same thing. Maybe you are good at something that you enjoy doing it, but you want to teach something to somebody else also. So finding that signature strength, and deliberately again spending few minutes in our day-to-day life to do that activity and share that learnings or knowledge with others as well, and family and friends. That is the most important thing in our life, and spending some time with those quality relationships as well. And then finally setting some goals that will stretch us, that will encourage us to move forward. Like having that purpose, what we are trying to reach, I think is takes us to that destination where we want to go. So this is a circle of things, what we can follow to bring the potential in ourselves. First of all, having that self-awareness, calming ourselves, and once we are calm, then energizing ourselves to bring our potential using those positive emotions or positive activities, and then finally setting those goals where we can experiment, where we can reach whatever we plan to reach or whatever we plan to achieve in our lives, will give us that full circle of experiencing our potential. So with that, I think I want to mention one of the best positive emotions we can simply anytime we can move to is gratitude, which shifts our perspective from negative emotion to positive emotion immediately. I know for some of you, maybe it is a hope, or maybe love, or maybe encouragement, support, or anything. But gratitude is one simple thing. Anytime, any moment when we are feeling the distress, immediately shifting our perspective from what we do not have to what we have, what I have right now. If we can just make that simple shift, being thankful. I mean, famous poet Rumi said, if you can say only one prayer in a day, make it thank you. When we say that thank you, it fills us with that positive emotion and then moves us to whatever we would like to achieve in our lives.
Mhm.
Thank you, friends.